Jesus got 3 of his disciples, Peter, James, and John, and they climbed up a very high mountain to spend some time in prayer. The disciples, they got real sleepy, but Jesus, he was praying. And while he was praying, he was totally changed. His face started shining like the sun. His clothes were like a bright white light. The disciples came fully awake, and as they saw this, they were like amazed. They saw with Jesus 2 men. One was Elijah, the ancient prophet. The other was Moses, the ancient leader of Israel. They were all talking, having a discussion about Jesus' soon departure. Peter spoke up and said, Jesus, it's so good for us to be here. Let us build 3 tents, one for Elijah, one for you, one for Moses. Peter didn't know what he was talking about. Right about then, a cloud came and surrounded them, and a voice from heaven came down and said, "This is my Son whom I love. Listen to him." The disciples were terrified. They fell face flat down on the ground. They were scared. Jesus walked up to them and he put his hand on them. When they looked up, the cloud was gone and Jesus was there all alone, and the other 2 men had left. The next day, they're traveling down the mountain. Jesus tells them, "Don't tell anybody what you saw up there. Wait till after I've risen from the dead." The disciples were thinking, like, what's this risen from the dead mean? But they did ask him, "What about Elijah, Jesus? Are the scribes right when they say he has to come first?" Jesus said, "It is true. The last days, Elijah's going to come first and get things in order. But I tell you, Elijah has already come, but nobody recognized him. And they did to him whatever they wanted. They caused him to suffer. In the same way, I'm going to suffer." The disciples understood he was talking about John the Baptist. When they got to the bottom of the mountain, there was a big crowd there. And there was an argument going on. When they saw Jesus was there, many of them ran over to him. Jesus asked them, "What's all this arguing about?" A man spoke up and he said, "Jesus, I brought my son here. He's attacked by an evil spirit. It causes him to foam at his mouth and grind his teeth and get really stiff. I asked your disciples to help and they couldn't deliver him and do nothing for him." Jesus was like, "How long must I stay here, you unbelieving generation? Bring the boy." So the father went and got his son, and when he gets the son right near Jesus, the spirit causes him to like fall on the ground and go in convulsions and start foaming at the mouth. Jesus asked the father, "How long has this been happening to him?" The father said, "Since he was a little boy, since his whole childhood. In fact, the evil spirit, if there's fire, it'll throw him in the fire trying to kill him, and even in water try to drown him. Jesus, if you could do anything, please have pity on us." Jesus, hearing that word "if," said, If I could do anything, I tell you, all things are possible to him who believes." People were running over to see what was going on, and the crowd was getting even bigger. And so Jesus looked at the evil spirit and said, "You evil spirit who causes this boy not to be able to speak or hear, I command you to come out of him and never to return." The evil spirit screamed as it came out, and the boy was violently tormented, and then the spirit left, and the boy just laid there on the ground. The people in the crowd were like, "I think he's dead. Oh my gosh, he died." And then Jesus reaches down and grabs the boy by the hand and helps him up. Later on, the disciples asked Jesus, like, "Well, why couldn't we cast the demon out, Jesus? We've done it before with other people." Jesus told them, "This kind comes out only by prayer